xoxoHomegrown.
Well, my name's Tom. I am a beer aficionado. I love beer. I'm a recent transplant to LA. I lived in New York for 13 years. Really enjoyed a lot of the, East Coast offerings, especially up in Vermont. Alchemist, Hill Farmstead, Lawson's Liquids, all that kind of stuff. And I really covet a lot of the West Coast style IPA. So I recently moved here. We've been here, me and my wife, for about a year and a half. And one of the motivating factors for us to come here, aside from getting a job, was West Coast beer, right? So in the year and a half I've been here, the scene has just been exploding, out of control. I mean, San Diego has got it going on, of course. San Francisco. LA, though, is almost like, since we've been here in a year and a half, it's gone bananas, right? I mean, there's so many great breweries here. And so LA Beer Week, even last year compared to this year, is just getting out of control crazy. So we love it. Yeah, I mean, we're here. We did an event last night over at the Hermosillo for Highland Park Brewery. They did a collab with Cellar Maker up in San Francisco. And now we're here at Naja's place. I really love the solidarity between a lot of the breweries here in California. They all collab. But before, I know you were talking about Untapped, and I'm a fervent supporter of Untapped. The great thing about it is you can, basically check in any beer that you're having and compare it with hundreds of thousands of people out there. It's fantastic. And you can also check out a beer before you taste it and make a decision about whether you should even bother with it. With so many breweries, the crowded market of breweries out there now, you really never know if it's just going to be awesome or it's going to be, they're just starting out, maybe they're not so good yet. So I guess I'm such a supporter. I bought this shirt. I sort of know the guys, so I met them a couple times. But I know one half of them is from the West Coast and one half is from the East Coast. So they're really cool guys, and if anyone is looking for the ultimate beer app, it's got to be Untapped for sure. I've got over 2,600 check-ins myself, which seems like a lot. But when you're checking in craft beer, maybe not so much. We were just commenting earlier about how when it comes to craft beer festivals and gatherings, it's just, everything is just, you bump into somebody, they say, excuse me, everyone's commenting on what you're drinking. Hey, what are you drinking? You actually get people offering you their beer to have a sip. It's just fantastic. The whole craft beer scene, especially out here on the West Coast, is just blowing my mind, and I'm so happy I moved out here. The vibe itself out here is also lends itself well to laid back and cool runnings and all that kind of thing. Whereas maybe in the East Coast, you might get some people participating in the scene that are newcomers, and might be some meathead type persons that just sort of bought into it and want to just get with it because it's the latest trend or whatever. So you might get some people that are kind of herky-jerky about it, right? And so they're going to be like, oh yeah, we're getting into the craft beer scene because that's popular and that's what we're supposed to do. But out here, most people are laid back, and so you're not going to get that kind of clientele latching onto it out here. So that's my take on the East Coast versus West Coast. I gotta say, I mean, East Coast beers, I love them, especially Vermont. New York City. I'm still a New Yorkan, but I'm slowly but surely converting, and I think give it one more year and I'll be a true Angelonian. I hope I said that right.
What do you do? What brought you out here besides the beer?
Oh, well, I'm a computer engineer. I actually work in the media entertainment industry. I work for a company called 318, and I basically set up audio and video editorial systems for editorial companies. and whatnot. Mostly movie companies and whatnot. So yeah, there's plenty of work out here because it's the epicenter. Over in New York it was more broadcast. This is more film and episode related kind of stuff. So loving it though, loving it. Yeah. So what do you have there? See, here we go. This is how it starts. Would you like to try this? This is really great. This is from Noble. What's this one?
Okay, so we got a deep double IPA there. Enjoying the spot.
Who's that from? What is that?
Is that one? I'm gonna have to
double check.
The sheet here.
Yeah, we're at the point where we have to double check the sheet.
So what have you got? You've got a Noble and
well, he's double checking. There's.
What do you think? It's a Voodoo.
Oh, Voodoo. So this is the list.
This is a Voodoo triple IPA.
It's a triple IPA.
It's a triple IPA.
Oh, okay.
Did you catch that in the flavoring?
Well, I did actually.
Yours seems to be a double.
That's a double for sure.
That's a double IPA.
Yeah.
That's a triple.
That's a triple. Yes.
And
This is a single hop though. Right.
Color. Completely.
Oh, sorry. It is.
this is the triple and this is the double?
That's
right.
A triple IPA, that's a double IPA.
Okay, so the color helps a little bit.
It does. I mean, as you're getting into like triples and actually quads now, they're making quad IPAs.
Quad IPA.
Yeah, knee deep up in. Knee deep actually makes a quad. I mean, there's a couple other folks making quads, but have you ever had a quad IPA?
I've had a quad
IPA.
It's really like earthy.
Yeah.
Tiny.
I love the fact that like when we get a good IPA going, like, it really hides the amount of booze in it. Sometimes, because it could be like a 13%.
Yeah.
Like and you wouldn't really taste the booze all that much because
it's not really boozy. It's more like tiny.
Right. And sometimes sweet. They get sweet when they get really high up in there.
Really
Yeah.
sweet
So. Cool. I think I'd love to be like a taste tester at a.
Just a moment.
It's interesting because like, who would have thought that beer would evolve to the point where it's like we're drinking wine, right? I mean, like, you always see folks drinking wine and they're sipping it and they're like, oh yes, like hints of this and that or whatever. And now we're doing the same thing with beer, but it's beer, right? It's so damn delicious and amazing. Because, I don't quite feel the same about wine, right? I don't. I'm sorry. I hope that doesn't offend any wine drinkers out there. Yes, I'll have a wine once in a while, but, as an avid beer drinker, since being in my teens, where I didn't know better, right, in Florida, drinking Budweiser and Ice House and Red Dog and Coors, whatever, it was all about what you could get your hands on, right? But now it's about, the taste and the feel and, the style and, the brewmaster put it together and all of, the history behind the brewery and the exclusivity of having something that is just not a commodity item and you have to go out and find it and it really gives you this I covet it, it's just great. I hope I'm not sounding too cheesy when I say all that stuff, but I feel like a lot of people feel the same way in the craft beer scene now, and it's just a wonderful time to be alive and being a beer lover. So yes, cheers again, cheers. I mean, I think that's yeah, sorry, she's empty. I feel so bad. Hey, pardon me.
What's up?
Are you with Clown Shoes?
I am.
You are. So, if you'd like to get on camera here and speak a bit about your amazing brewery, Clown Shoes. Clown Shoes is great, of course, but I'll let you speak more about that if you'd like.
What would you like to know? So Clown Shoes Beer, we're on our 6th year. We're out of Massachusetts, Ipswich. We have a good amount of beers. Our most popular beer right now would probably on the West Coast would be Space Cake, which is double IPA.
Space Cake, know it. It's a great beer.
Yeah, Mosaic hops, 9%. More dry hop than bitterness, so it's aromatic, not overly bitter, easy drinking. You would never know it's 9%.
Well, that's usually par for the course, right? When you hide the booze. But it's in there, right? And so some folks don't know how to hide it very well. I've had some where like, whoa, mama.
It's all
but then
all
that
about
could be a good
balance.
thing.
It's
But
all
then
about
again,
balance.
yeah, balance is good.
Yeah.
Yes, that's Clown Shoes.
Clown Shoes beer.
Clown Shoes beer has been around for how many years?
6 years. So we're on our 6th year. We have a wide portfolio. Our initial launch beer was Hoppy Feet, which is a black IPA, 7%. It's got some black malts, dark roasted malts for the color and a little bit of the aroma, but it's very bitter, hopped out like a black IPA should be.
Nice, yes.
And what brought you out to the LA Beer Week for Massachusetts?
I'm the whole West Coast rep, so I represent Clown Shoes on the whole West Coast. Also do Hawaii now.
Oh, nice, Hawaii. I was just there.
I haven't been there yet, but
I was just there. We were just there, my wife and I, and it's funny because like the issue with beers in Hawaii is that they got to ship them over there, and they don't refrigerate. Yeah. So when you have some of the beers, they're
you're gonna get some off flavor.
You're gonna get some off flavorings.
Correct,
yeah,
correct.
And that's unfortunate. So that's what you got to deal with.
From what I understand, our beer is shipped refrigerated.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Gets there fresh.
Yeah, some don't guarantee it, but if you do, that's awesome. Yeah. I used to live in Massachusetts myself. I went to school there for 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and this was right when the beer scene was just starting, or right when the craft beer scene was just starting to kick off. Unfortunately, I don't think you guys were around
at 6
that
years.
point. Yeah, so yeah, I was.
Only a few years.
I was in New York 13 years, and there 6 years. So
we're in New York. We're in New Jersey. We just launched in Maryland.
Oh,
and
nice.
DC.
Oh, okay.
Actually, I was out there for the Maryland launch. Everything was going well. We have a great distributor, Casella, pushing our beer, and the response was very great.
Nice.
Every event was huge, and people were really enthusiastic about our brand. So
it's a great
always
brand.
A plus.
Yeah, I buy them. The great thing is they're all here. I mean, I go into Whole Foods and it's like Clown Shoes, it's all there.
Whole Foods is one of our best customers.
Right.
The point is to get the beer to the people. We're not about pretension. We're not about beer snobbery. We really enjoy making good beer for the people that want to buy it.
It would be like, okay, so let's talk about beer hoarding for a minute, right?
Beer hoarding?
Beer hoarding, beer snobbery. And so a lot of folks, especially out here or anywhere else, I was living in New York. I couldn't get, for the life of me, anything from, Alchemist, right? Heady Topper,
right.
Lawson's Liquids,
had a
Hill
bunch of that
Farmstead.
stuff.
Right. You can get it if you know somebody, right?
Correct.
But it's rare to see a tap of it. It's rare to see a bottle of it anywhere in New York,
right?
Or even Massachusetts, for that matter.
Correct.
And it's a little bit frustrating, right? I mean, you're out here, and I got to say, out in the West Coast, and tell me if I'm wrong, because you guys, you're from Mass, and we see your beer out here a lot, so that's great. But it's rare to see, aside from Dogfish or Brooklyn or you guys or maybe some other folks, East Coast beers out in the West Coast.
So
right?
a lot of that breaks down to distribution. A lot of these beer companies are catering to their local audience, which is awesome because that's what you do. Drink local, right?
Sure.
Drink the local stuff. I appreciate bringing, an East Coast beer to California.
Yeah.
So I'm lucky
enough
to bring a good beer to the West Coast. But I totally get what you're saying. A lot of those beers, they just don't have the distribution channels yet. These states have different laws on all the way the alcohol works.
But would you say that some of them are just simply not interested in it? And that's okay because, I'll tell you, out here, there's so many smaller breweries, right? Like Noble maybe, and even if they're not small, they're not considered small out here. Noble works with the Brewery, Brewery actually distributes quite a bit out. Golden Road, for instance, right?
Yeah,
they got a
Brewery.
big presence, right?
Yeah.
But no one in the East Coast has ever heard of that.
No, they haven't.
Right.
And that's a lot of that has to do with they don't
and we're
distribute.
seeing, because I travel a lot, right? So I go to, just this month, I went to Nashville, I went to Atlanta, I went to Albuquerque. And there's so many really great breweries that have sprouted out, and they're just amazing. And they're like, yeah, we don't distribute outside of this county even.
Yeah, a lot of that has to do with
think about how many amazing breweries that are just coming up, like small ones like Russian River Style, or or Clown Shoes or whatever, that are so good in what they do, and have a really great head brewer.
What that has to do with though is some of these companies that are smaller. they really want to have a quality control.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So they don't want their beer to go
I get
past
that. I get that.
a certain amount of miles because they can't guarantee what's going to happen with it.
Right.
It's different for some of the bigger breweries. Like, we're not a huge brewery. We're pretty small. We do 12 to 13,000 barrels right now. We're hoping to augment that to 20,000 barrels this year.
Yeah.
But these other companies, they're probably around 10 to 5. And they're not making enough beer to really get it out to the masses.
Right.
And they're just enjoying what they're doing. And that,
and
that's awesome, though. There's nothing wrong, because it's like they're going to build their recipes. They're going to build their reputations local. And then eventually...
It's hard for me not to be selfish, though, and go,
you want that beer.
I want it.
So a beer that I had on the East Coast, just since we're talking. Heady Topper. You brought up Heady Topper.
Sure, yeah. You got a Heady Topper.
When I was on the East Coast, everyone was like, you need to try Heady Topper. I've had it before.
Sure.
But someone gave me one. But early in the day, I had a beer called Second Fiddle. And this is how you know that I love craft beer. I work for Clown
Second
Shoes,
Fiddle.
But I will always
know Second Fiddle.
I always talk about other beers. Second Fiddle.
Amazing.
Better than Heady Topper.
I've had it.
Better than Heady Topper.
I got a connection. We do a bottle exchange. I had a Second Fiddle.
So better than Heady Topper to you? One of the best IPAs.
I say it's equal or on par with it.
It's more bitter.
I'm glad you brought that up.
I think
it's a little bit more bitter, yes. It's damn good.
Heady Topper is more of like an everyman IPA, I would say. Like a Pliny. Very much like a Pliny. Popular, hyped out, but deserves a hype because it does have the flavor.
I mean, we could do a whole section on hype, for sure.
But it's a delicious beer, nonetheless. But that Second Fiddle, that was the one on the East Coast. That really like drove it home.
My friend lives in Rosendale. We do an exchange. Yeah, obviously you know Rosendale. And he sent me Second Fiddle, and I was like, holy. It was so good, I put the empty cans on my Christmas tree.
There you go.
And it was kind of cool. So and by the way, empty beer cans make great Christmas ornaments. All you do is put the hook, and you're all set. Bottles, not so much, but...
Like I said, I work for Clown Shoes. I have no problem like talking about other beers because I'm a fan of the industry. That's why I work for Clown Shoes.
Yeah, of course.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, and most people in the industry, head brewers, owners, whatever, they all feel the same way. Yeah, they're not going to say, well, down with this guy or that guy, they suck, whatever. They're always gonna hype up. Of course not.
What goes into beer, basically.
And that's why it's a beautiful industry. Yeah, it's great.
It's an awesome beer industry.
And I gotta say, I see a lot more collaborations going on. All that's cool. They don't always turn out well, which is okay because I can't ever agree on what makes a great beer.
We're trying to do some West Coast collaborations, but just to let you know what's coming out with Clown Shoes right now.
Yeah, I'd love to hear it.
Right now, we have Pierre Fernand, which is Billionaire, which is our English-style barley wine.
Oh, nice.
Aged in Pierre
I'm a huge fan of barley wines.
So it's aged in Pierre Fernand barrels, cognac barrels from France. Most 12.4. This beer is decadent, dude. That's my description.
Decadent.
It's just
I've had some decadent.
Rich.
Yeah.
I want to pour it on cheesecake.
Like Track 8.
It's delicious, dude.
You know.
Track 8.
Yeah.
More raisin, different style.
Right, but I'm saying, like, it gets... When you're starting to get those layers of flavors in there,
the richness,
and the barley wine, it's like, I love barley wines because they're so flavorful and layered, and it's like it's like basically like we're hanging out in hell, and we're drinking the beer the devil would love, you know.
There we go.
I mean, that's the way I gotta say it, really.
Like Ingrid's Deal of the Devil.
Right. It's a deal with the devil, basically. Yeah.
We also have a mango Kolsch that's coming out right now.
I love a Kolsch. I mean, like a clean, good Kolsch.
Yep, very clean, juicy.
Nice.
And then we also have Rex, which is an Imperial Red aged in bourbon barrels, which I'm excited for. I haven't seen a lot of red ales aged in barrels.
I can't say I've seen that many. Yeah.
I think that one is gonna really carve a niche, dude. That Rex should be awesome.
I love it when people take, something that's like slightly ordinary, like a red or a brown or Kolsch, and then just take it to the next level. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes people are like, here, let's just throw some crap in there.
I can assure you what we're working on is definitely working.
Nice.
Our barrel program is insane right now. I just got back looking at a bunch of fresh barrels that just got shipped in. I'm super excited for what the year has in store for us, dude.
Oh, great.
Thanks for interviewing me, man.
Oh, no, of course. Yeah, I mean, thank this man. He came up, he's got the gear.
So what is this for?
I'll tell you, it's for xoxoHomegrown.
xoxoHomegrown.
Which is a YouTube channel.
Sweet, right on.
Yeah.
Subscribe to us.
I will.
Well, absolutely now.
Homegrown. I will check you out, dude.
Thank you.
XOXO Homegrown.